Monday morning. I got somebody along with me. Hey, Hope.
Hey, 2 weeks in a row. You got me
Oh,
doing
yeah, on
this.
Monday. I'm like, nah, but I wasn't here last week, but you were.
Yeah.
So, gosh, we got Susie. Good morning, Susie. Let me scroll back up and see all Susie and Jenny and Kathy and Jose and Dennis, Bethany, Jim. Wow, good morning, guys. Y'all are like on the ball. They were probably hoping I was going to be out of town again. It would be you and Hillary.
Hey, Dennis.
But Hillary's out of town this time, so
Yep.
Hope decided she agreed. Actually,
Yep.
I think you volunteered
I
to,
did.
to
I will.
get on at this crazy early hour for a college kid.
I know,
8:45.
right? It's crazy. Hey, Susie. Hey, Jose. Yeah.
Dennis said hi too.
I already said hi to Dennis. I'll
You
say
said hi to Dennis? I missed that. I'm
hi,
sorry.
Dennis. I said
Didn't
it.
want you to leave my cuz out.
I know.
So this is always kind of odd when I've got someone online because to look at you guys I have to look at the camera, but then to see Hope I have to look down. So
Yeah.
if you see me looking down a lot, I'm not like spaced out and ignoring you. I'm looking down at my baby.
Yep.
Man, Monday morning. Usually with Hillary we talk about tech stuff.
Mhm.
So I didn't even. I was running a little bit late, so Cynthia's out of town too. So I told Hope I'm like a single dad with the animals and stuff, and so it took me a little bit longer to get here. I didn't have as much time to prepare. As you probably noticed, that I didn't change the title to Java and Jesus. It still has the sermon title. So, because I was talking, well, Hope and I are chatting, and I'm like, "How much time do we have?" She goes, "Well, it's like 7:59." Ooh.
Yeah, we have a tendency of that. Like, we'll just it's like you talking to yourself because we'll just go back and forth and talk.
Yeah. And just like me talking to myself, sometimes we disagree.
Yeah.
Just I disagree with myself sometimes. Not yes. So we had fun talking, obviously. So yeah, this is like me and mini me,
Yep.
but the mini me looks way better than the me. So she's prettier and has less miles. So I have an idea. So I haven't even said this to you yet, Hope, but I have an
Yeah.
idea what
Okay.
we can talk about.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you, but I have an idea. The drone.
The drone. Yeah.
The drone.
Mhm.
So I think I've mentioned. I think I talked with Paul, or talked about this with Paul on Friday. But so I have a drone. I've been wanting to get out and fly it more, but every day we get like 40-mile-an-hour gusts of wind.
Mhm.
So and this drone can take like 25-mile-an-hour winds and can be pretty safe still. But I don't want to be like 300 feet up in the air and have a 45-mile-an-hour gust of wind and then
Yeah.
have to try to find the drone after that.
Mhm.
It may end up in Portales the way the wind blows normally around here.
It's so windy here. Yeah.
I know. I'm glad that the days are getting longer. I'm glad that it's getting a bit warmer, although this is about as warm as I want it to be.
Mhm.
And then, but the wind is killing us this year. And then it's like crazy dry. We haven't had any rain.
Yeah.
And so, like every day's a high fire danger day.
Yeah.
We're at very high. Our fire danger right now in the forest is at very high. The next highest is extreme.
Wow.
So right now, and no campfires. Actually, no outside flames at all.
Wow.
You have to smoke in your car or within like a bunch of feet. You have to have like 10, 15 feet of non-flammable stuff around you.
Can you still grill, or is that?
So the so in the forest they don't want you to have any open flame at all.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh, like in the village.
Well, I don't know if you're camping, like a little camp stove, I think is okay because it's pretty well enclosed. Your flame there. The village does their own kind of fire restrictions, but I think right now they're going to say no charcoal or wood, no fire pits, anything like that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this, but anytime you do a fire in a fire pit, you're supposed to let the village know anyways. That's just like normal.
Oh, I did not know that either.
Oops. Because we've got that cool little bonfire. So the solo bonfire, I don't know if y'all have seen those advertised. They're really, really neat. And it's a fire pit, but not really. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but it's really cool to do. But I'm pretty sure if anybody smelled anything like wood burning around,
They would.
I'm going to get a visit from the fire people.
Yeah. And in a small town, everybody knows everybody. So.
Oh, yeah. So we do still have, and I'll get the back porch all cleaned up before you come home, Hope. We do still have, our propane fire table, whatever we.
Yeah.
But that's fun to sit outside with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the cool thing, so if you're not real familiar with here, the cool thing about sitting out on the back porch in the summertime here is, one, is not hot, and two, you don't have mosquitoes you have to deal with. So
Yeah.
there is the occasional skunk and raccoon, which has been a lot more frequent than I would like. I heard something on the front porch. I was getting the BB gun until I saw Mr. Skunky, and then I just decided I'd let him.
What's so funny is you can tell I like grew up in the mountains because at night I'll go out to take my trash to the dumpster and I'll hear something rumbling in the dumpster and my first instinct is like skunk or raccoon and I'm like, oh no. And then a little cat comes out of the dumpster.
Yeah, and in the city, that's hopefully a cat.
Yeah,
and not a bobcat.
Yeah, it's a cat. But I'm just like in like fight or flight mode and like, oh, it's just a cat.
Yeah, I found out skunks. Skunks stink, but I knew that. Raccoons are mean and vicious, and they have claws and teeth. And
yeah.
I found that out when there was one in the back of the truck. I had trash one time and didn't make it to the dumpster, and I heard something and I thought, oh, it's making a mess. So I bang on the side of the truck. The raccoon jumps on the rail, and I thought, I'll get him out of here. So I went, wah! And I guess animals can be demon possessed. Jesus cast the legion of demons into a herd of swine. If a raccoon was demon possessed, he would have sounded like this guy. He's like, he got up on his hind legs and bared his teeth.
He was ready to fight.
I decided he could eat whatever he wanted. I'd clean it up later.
That's funny.
So I went back in the house.
Do you think you'll like? Ooh, so do you think you'll like bring the drone to like camps that you guys are going to?
I will. I need to let Sam know. My right now I'm flying under the recreational part. So I have that there are a little bit different rules for recreational. I'm working on getting the commercial part, which Michael, your cousin, has. Then I could do a little bit more, but I'll let Sam know. That the biggest thing that distinguishes the two that would keep me from breaking the law is intent. If my intent is simply to fly and have fun, then that's the kind of thing I can do right now. If anything other than fun is my intent, like making a video for camp, or doing footage for Sam to make video for camp, then now I'm kind of going into the other part. So I may have my commercial license by then. We'll see.
That'd be cool.
But I'm going to take it anyways. I mean, if I have time, I mean, they're even fun to watch. You flew Michael, so.
Yeah, well, I'm sure like during free time, like you'll be very popular with your drone, like all the kids,
Yes and no. I'll be really popular till I tell them no, they can't fly it.
Yeah, but they'll wanna. Yeah, but.
Can I fly it? So here's the thing about drones, and I've been like studying for the tests and stuff, and watching lots of videos. They have a deal. It's called PIC, Pilot in Command. Okay, so because it's registered to me, and I have it's not really a license, but the little recreational thing that I'm flying under. I'm responsible even if I'm letting you fly it. And so if there's all these things you have to abide by. If you hit anybody and it makes a laceration and the blades, I don't have propeller guards on it. We have to report that to the FAA.
Yeah.
So if you do more than $500 worth of damage, you have to report that to the FAA.
Wow.
I've met teenagers.
Yeah.
Now, out like in the field, like if when you come home, well, you're not a teenager anyways, but
yeah.
home, like out in the field, there's no big deal. I mean, I don't mind,
Right.
letting a teenager fly it, but yeah, not around a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
You froze up on my screen. I fixed it.
Oh.
You froze up like this.
Oh, okay. Nice. But
no.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I think it's so funny that you have a little drone, your little toy.
It is a little one. It's like the smallest one. Well, it's not the smallest one you can get. Because you can go to Hobby Lobby and get tiny. Man, I don't even know how you fly those things.
Yeah. What's funny is like I always picture like so when Michael was here, like when he was flying his drone, I always pictured like this big hawk would just like come and like cling on to the drone and just fly away with it.
So mine is smaller than Michael's. And I've seen video where that happens. Where and the one that I have has some safety features. One of them is if it gets flipped sideways or upside down, it shuts off. So at least the propellers do. I guess I could just watch the video of the flying away.
That'd be very entertaining video, though.
That's an expensive video. The one I got was not like it was. It's one of the cheaper or inexpensive ones. It's a good one, but inexpensive. But still, that's an expensive video. Plus, I could watch it on my phone, but it's not recording on my phone. It's recording on the drone.
Yeah.
So you got to go get that back to get that expensive footage. Anyways, so the cool thing, I got it for the church. And the cool thing is, and I thought, because I don't know, most people don't know a whole lot about drones, like the regulations and stuff. So I thought I don't need a commercial license. When I ordered it, I was thinking this, I don't need a commercial license because I'm not going to make money on it. I'll just do it for the church, just like I would, with my cell phone. And then found out that if your intent is anything other than just having fun, then, and they even say, golly, even if you're doing this for a not-for-profit, and you're not going to make any money, if the intent is anything other than fun, you have to have your license. So, but that's, so it's gonna be fun. So I want to do that for the church, and immediately like what you were saying. So for camps, I want to do it for children's camp, so I have to have it by then, which is just two weeks after youth camp.
Yeah.
So and we took it. This is before I knew all this. So I took it to our youth retreat and used it to get our group photo, which is way cool because like we're all there. Who's going to take the group photo? Well, I just send the drone out, and then I have the controller in my hand, and it's really cool. They make it neat, so you can just like push a button, and it takes a photo.
That's cool.
So let me ask the ones that are online. Do any of you guys have a drone? Does anyone else have a drone? Making videos is fun. Yeah, Jim was out there, and Jim's like, ooh. So I don't know. Jim might have a nice Christmas this year.
Yeah.
It's fun. I asked Jim if he wanted to fly it, and he said no. But so Jim, we're gonna have to like go. out into some big field somewhere where you'd feel more comfortable. Um, I'm actually, so you know this, Hope. I have a pastor's retreat coming up, like the
Hmm.
20th and 21st. There's something that happens on the 22nd. I forget what.
Gee, I wonder
Um,
what.
Hope's birthday.
Yeah.
So the 20th and 21st, I have a pastor's retreat, but I'm going to actually go there that Wednesday. So I'll be there Wednesday and Thursday,
Hmm.
and I'm going to take the drone because out there, I mean, you just have a lot more area. Jeannie has dogs. That's better. Jeannie, here's what you need for your dogs. All right. So here's how you can make your dogs better than drones. Put a little camera on their collar, and then I mean, hey, you get some really cool footage that way
Yeah.
from about that high off the ground for some of them.
What was funny was when Michael was here, and he brought his drone, and he was like, "Do you want to fly it, Larry?" And your face like lit up. You're like, "Yes, I want to fly it."
But I'm like, what if I crash it? Now his has collision avoidance
Hmm.
sensors and all that other stuff. So
Yeah.
his is a little bit more. Way his is a lot more sophisticated. I think he has a Mavic 2 Pro or something like that.
Hmm.
But I mean, he uses it to make a living.
Yeah.
So the drones. How much do they cost, Jose? That's pretty much what Jim asked me once he did. You can get what I have is the Mavic. It's not a Mavic. Well, it's the DJI Mini 2. Okay, I'll put it in the comments for you. So it's a DJI Mini 2. That one is called the Flymore Combo. You'll find it if you look on Amazon. Is like I think it's just under 700, and that's for the drone, for 3 batteries, extra propellers, a little case that it goes in. So it's like everything you need. The only other thing, and it's 1 gram under the limit that you'd have to register it, so you wouldn't have to register it unless you put anything on it. So the one thing it doesn't have that you kind of need to get some really good footage, and I don't have these yet either, is called ND filters. So they're polarized filters that actually darken this. Here's the best way I can describe it. If you ever get in photography, I know Jim has photography. What they call it is the cinematic blur because it's got like a 4K camera on this one, and it's really crisp. Some of your eyes are glazing over. I can see now. But it's got really crisp 4K. That's crazy. Good. Now they have 8K, which is nuts, but 4K camera, and it's so crisp that you don't realize it, but you're not getting what they call a cinematic blur. So with movement, so what you do is put these filters on, and there's like a pack of 4. That's probably all you would need to darken it enough to open the ISO to. Basically, here's what it does. It darkens it so that aperture kind of on the camera has to be open a little bit longer, open bigger, and so that creates a little bit of a blur. You don't notice it really. It's not like everything's blurry, but it gives it a really cool look. So that's the only thing it doesn't come with this one, and it's got like a 25-minute fly time on each battery. Just remember, however far you go out, you have to come back. I've been watching videos, and you know, like the guys flying to check the range. You're actually supposed to always have it with so you can see it with your eyes. You can use glasses, but not binoculars. So one guy was testing it for range, and he got like 3 miles out. And he could have gone farther for range, but this guy was like in Hawaii, and so he's like, I have to bring it back. So he was trying to gauge. And the one thing that I've seen by watching these videos of guys that'll mess you up is if there's any kind of a headwind coming back. Remember, these things are, well, the Mini is small. If there's any kind of headwind, you're going to use a lot more battery coming back. So you need probably 60% of your battery left whenever you start coming back, just in case. So, but it's fun. it's just been driving me nuts. The wind, you know, like I could probably fly this morning, um, but I'd have to jump out like right after this because the winds start to pick up pretty good.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm learning about drones is people freak out with drones. Here's you and I found this out like with Michael. Okay, so we're there at the bed and breakfast that they or not the bed and breakfast, like
Airbnb.
the Airbnb that they rented, and we're flying off of the patio. And he goes over, and we have like Jim lives in that area, and we have some friends that live there. And so I said, "Wait, I guess you have to be careful. You can't fly over the house." And he says, "Well, actually, I can. You don't own the airspace over your house." That freaks people out. Okay, so I know that there's some that are thinking, so legally, I can take the drone. Now, if I'm going to launch it from your land, obviously I need permission to be on your land and to launch from your land. But if I stand in the street, I can launch it and I can fly over your house. I can get video. I can record. Now, um, if I get down in your window and I'm looking in your window. Now that has nothing to do with the drone. I mean, I'm not supposed to be doing that anyways, even with a camera with a good lens.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Actually, so Jose's funny. Shooting practice for hunters. That's that's the thing that with in kind of the drone community that I'm hearing is just because you can doesn't mean you should. And so they're talking because a lot of people like hate drones big time. Um, and like I was just flying one out here, well, the one I have out here, um, and a guy came up and said, "Do you have authorization to fly that here?" And
Wow.
yeah, look at Dennis. I can legally swat flies too. Um, so I can legally fly around your house. I can legally do the video, but these things are over $500. So if you destroy property, that bumps it into the next level. It's still a misdemeanor, but still. So if you destroy someone's property because you don't like it around, you get in trouble. But
so
the thing,
you were flying like by the church, and that guy said that.
yeah, mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Are you authorized to fly over here? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But first of all, I'm the pastor. This is church property, so yes, I gave myself permission to fly here. Secondly, the FAA says that I can fly in this airspace, and there's a lot that you can't. I mean, there's tons of rules. Airports, within a certain, that's going to really get more technical. Within a certain distance, close to an airport, you have to have authorization to fly, and I can do that from my app on my phone. I can ask, and you get it within 10 minutes or so. But then only to a certain height. Airplanes aren't supposed to fly lower than 500 feet unless they're taking off or landing. We can't fly higher than 400 feet, so there's supposed to be a 100-foot buffer. But obviously, the closer you get to an airport, then that is. And the airports look, like a wedding cake. It's got the big tier, and then the smaller tier, and the smaller tier. Well, it's upside down. So around the airport, the tier is smallest right next to the airport, but then it gets bigger and then bigger as you get higher because obviously the airplanes take off. So anyways, you have to be careful with all that. But what I'm seeing is be a good neighbor. As you fly your drones, be a good neighbor. When people come and ask, you don't get defensive, especially the people, because taking that, it's actually a drone pilot test, and it's you get a license, a commercial license issued by the FAA. It's not the same as a pilot's test that you would take for an airplane, obviously, because that includes a lot of flight time. But it's a tier of that. I mean, you have to take that. So a lot of drone pilots who've done that, get really defensive. When people say, "Are you? You're not supposed to be flying." Well, actually, so you have to be careful doing that. So understand that. I mean, I didn't know any of this stuff until I started looking into it for the drone. You don't need permission to video and photograph other people's houses, or that sounds creepy when I say it that way. There was one that these people were photographing. There was a train trestle, kind of like what we have, the train trestle here, and the guy asked for permission from this company to take off from, it was a distillery or something, to take off from there too, because they had a good view of the trestle. And a lady from the distillery came out, somebody from management, and said, "Hey, you can't do that. Did you ask permission?" He goes, "Yeah, I did." And she goes, "From who?" He said, "I don't know her name, but she was in the place where I came in." And she goes, "Well, you have to have permission to photograph that too." And so this guy actually got more defensive than he should have. But not really. I don't have to get permission from the Forest Service to video the trestle, and to use it, even if I had a commercial license.
Right.
But,
well, I feel like that's just any rule in life, like if you're like, just don't get super, like, the less defensive you are, the better the situation is,
Right. And to be a good neighbor. I mean, I can take my drone and fly it down the street as long as I can see it, and I can see all the way down my street. And the guy at the end, his name is Michael. I don't know if you met him. They've lived there for a while now. But anyways, I can fly it down there, and I can fly it in his yard. But I don't want to make my neighbor mad at me, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Now, I can go up high and fly over, because you've got the the OSHA trail, that's around there and stuff. But anyways, it's been really interesting for me. There's so many applications we can do for the church, youth group, obviously camps. But Michael, did the video that we have at the beginning here. He used some of the drone footage that he took from that. So I can't wait. Someone said, "Yeah, in the sanctuary." I said, "Well, for not good for a lot of reasons. One, you're not supposed to fly it inside.
Yeah.
Because it makes some noise. These are quieter, but still, it makes some noise. And you're not supposed to do sustained flight over people. Like if I'm going over to somewhere else and there were people there, I can fly over them to get there, but I can't hover over a crowd of people. But how fun would that be? Here's a thought. You guys may be getting bored by now. Here's a thought I had, is to get some cool footage of the worship team to on a Thursday night when they're doing practice, to have the drone, because you can set it, focus in on a point, and then move it so that it still stays on that point, but you get this really cool cinematic movement from one side of the sanctuary to the other.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm sure they would freak out pretty good. You have to be really careful flying it inside, because it gets its stability from GPS satellites. And if you don't have enough GPS satellites, it's not very stable.
Look at you being all smart with the drone.
Oh yeah, we'll see. I just make sure there won't be people in the chairs when I do that.
Yeah.
They might have haircuts like mine. So anyways, the drone is the next new tech that we're going to try to start implementing. And so I'll practice with it until I can get the commercial license. And then you might start seeing some drone footage that won't look near as cool as Michael's, because he's been doing video for a while.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks, guys, for hopping in with us. We've been going 31 minutes. It doesn't seem like that long. Not for us. It probably does for you guys.
Yeah.
So love you guys. Let me pray for you, send you out. And then when we come back in on Wednesday with Jim, we're going to be talking about something to cry about. Little girl, I'll give you something to cry about. And Jesus talking with the experts in the law. Let me pray for you. Lord, thank you for your love. Thank you for the way that you take care of us, the way that you move in us. God, I thank you for the technology you've given us. Help us to use it in ways, Lord, that allow us to reach out to people. And God, we know that all of the stuff that we do, and in fact, just even all the little menial everyday tasks of cleaning and just all the details. Those aren't ends in themselves, Lord. Those are a means to be able to reach people with the gospel. So help us to do that well. Help us to do it in a way that brings you honor and glory. And God, I pray that you would use it to draw people to faith in Christ. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks, Hope, for hopping on this morning.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be careful if I take the drone with me to go see Dennis. Actually, it's where Dennis lives now. There's a lot more unrestricted airspace where he used to live. I looked at Arlington, and there's a lot. You can still get authorization, to fly, but in fact, the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, that whole area is on the test to be able to read the map and see where you can fly and where you can't.
That's cool.
Because it's so complicated there. So, but like with Michael, he has his commercial license, and so he can request authorization or a waiver. Oh, just what Dennis said.
Thanks, Dennis.
Boy, Dennis is like so in tune with stuff.
I know.
He is. Finals are next week.
Next week, yeah. But some open this week. I'm going to go ahead and get them done.
Wow, look at you.
Look at me. I'm trying to stay on top of it. So.
Because you don't want to do 4 finals on the same day. That's why.
No.
All right. You guys, love you. We will see you on Wednesday. Hope, hang on for a sec. Don't go away, Hope.
Okay.
See you guys on Wednesday.